What if I told you that one of the gayest sport anime of all time, not free, was also one of the biggest wasted opportunity in anime history? Yes, I'm talking about Yuri on Ice, the show that gave us everything and then took it all away. Thanks, Mappa. If it's your first time here, welcome to my channel. Here we talk about gays and men kissing in general, mostly anime, manga oriented. So, if you have an interest in this, then please feel free to drop a like and subscribe. Yuri on Ice is basically a BL, but most people refer to it as B shonen. Anyways, Yuri on Ice is a sport anime, and we all know sports anime are juicy, especially after I made my last video. So, we follow Yuri, a young Japanese ice skater who is kind of average and never really got to win any medals, and decides to quit after having a breakdown over his dog's death during competition. While his idol, Viktor Nikiforov, got placed first, he was the last one. What makes it even harder for him is that he got this little angry gremlin called Yuri Plisetsky, I'm sorry, who confronted him and told him to quit instantly. Obviously, he isn't very proud of himself and decides to go back to his parents' house. Once he get back, he just let himself go, and I think that's his way of coping after his failure, but also mourning his dog's death. One day, a video of him replicating one of Victor's programs leaked on the internet. Victor ended up getting his eyes on it and decides to fly straight to Japan to become his mentor. Obviously, this creates some complication because Victor's coach has to deal with the reporters and the little angry gremlin who's against Victor's year of ice skating. On the other hand, Victor doesn't really care and is determined to coach Yuri. He ends up staying at Yuri's parents' place, which is an onsen inn, and that's when he tells him that he's going to train him. After all the ruckus, Yuri ends up accepting, who wouldn't after seeing his beautiful face, and start his training. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends on how you see it, Victor licks his location and the gremlin flies straight to him. That's some next level parasocial behavior, bro. At the end of the day, Victor accepts to create a program for both Yuris and make them compete each other with their new choreographies to decide who's going to get his coaching. The Japanese Yuris ends up winning, and as for the gremlin, he flies back to his home country to get intensive training under a former prima ballerina, Lilia, who's also going to take care of his program. Back to our gays. Victor and Yuri spends time together under the idea of Yuri getting back his self-confidence. Ah yes, the classic I need confidence excuse to go on a date with your coach. Smooth, Yuri. Real smooth. Anyways, many competitions start to follow one another to get to the Grand Prix. A lot of characters appear, but they're not very relevant to our main gay couple. Some of them are even terrible, like that one guy who kept obsessing over his sister. Yeah, you know exactly what type of brother I am talking about. Sometimes, I wish anime just don't include these characters because they don't add anything to the story whatsoever and just make everything so uncomfortable. I'm sorry, but I don't want to see a weird brother who keeps obsessing over his sister's boyfriend and want to stay inseparable or whatever. It's just weird and not funny. Clearly, this trope, if it's even considered one, is useless. To all anime studio out there, please stop creating these characters. Thank you. Moving on. After some time, we finally, and I mean finally, get to see some gay action going on. Not so fast. We get some angst before because as we all know, BL's enjoyer. You cannot have some men kissing right away. You will need to suffer in pain. An incredible heart-shattering moment if you want to get rewarded by wholesomeness. It isn't new for the warriors who have been on the field for years now. But newbies, they will get frustrated. Maybe even sad that our gays are breaking up. What they don't know is that something juicy and incredibly delicious will happen in the same episode after all this angsty moment. So, let's get to it, shall we? During the Cup of China, Yuri is on high-level stress. Obviously, Victor will try his best to cheer him up and calm him down, but nothing works. So guess what he did? he had the bright idea to tell him he will stop coaching him. Like, bro, what? How is that supposed to help him? If anything, it just made it worse. Let's talk about it. Your coach that you have a huge crush on and you're lucky enough to get his personal training and attention tells you that he will leave you right when you're at your lowest. You know, I've seen some dumb decision before, but this is probably high tier. I was genuinely so shocked when he seriously threw it at him. Of course my baby Yuri ends up breaking down. I mean, who wouldn't? His feeling just got shattered into millions of pieces by the person he loves the most. If I was him, I don't think I'll ever recover. But you know what? It's a good thing that he did, because otherwise, more angst would have been thrown at us, spectators and supporters of the gays. Distraught, my boy Yuri begs him to stay and to have more faith in him. So yes, Victor, next time you're trying to cheer your partner, maybe choose another way, like non-toxic, would be appreciated. Although, I can't lie, I love drama, but seeing my baby being so hurt just breaks my heart. At the end, he went to the competition and executed his program. Even if he did a mistake, he still managed to surprise the audience by doing Victor's signature quadruple flip. He failed it, but that's okay. With all the adrenaline and emotion rushing through him, he runs toward Victor, and guess what happens? They kiss! Yeah, boys, we won! Over gays kiss! Somebody bring the champagne! We're celebrating, baby! You don't know how loud I was screaming when it happened. Now you're wondering, why isn't it labeled as BL if they literally kissed? And that's not even the most shocking that happened, because at some point they get matching rings. While most of the sport anime with men in it have all sorts of zesty stuff going on, and yet want to turn a blind eye to it. I really wonder what they're trying to say when you think about it. Moving on to the last episode, where things start to become more complicated. On one hand, you have Victor, who wishes to come back to ice skating, and on the other hand, the gremlin who wants Yuri to stay in the competitive scene. At the Grand Prix, the ambience isn't really there between our two lovers because of their different goals. At the end, the gremlin wins and made Yuri stay. So we all say, thank you, gremlin Yuri, for your hard work. Now, you'd think that after all that success, we'd get a season 2, or at least the promised movie, but no. Instead, Mappa blueballed the entire fandom for 8 years before canceling it. And honestly, that's the real crime here. So Mappa, what do you have to say after giving hope to all those fans that there could possibly be a continuation to one of their favorite show? That's why I'm saying this is such a waste of potential. The animation is gorgeous, the story in itself is very intriguing, and you get hooked from the beginning till the end. The characters all have their own stories and distinctive traits. Gosh, even the soundtrack is amazing, which makes the whole anime very rewarding. How can you, as a studio, see the amount of hearts you broke after canceling something that had been waited for, and for years at that? I clearly don't understand how they work. I feel like in this day and age, animated studios just don't want to make money anymore. Now, I get that Mappa has some serious allegation regarding how they treat their employees, and I do not condone that. But look, you worked on a project years ago. You brought it back to life just to completely obliterate it? Something is not adding up, bro. I wished it was a joke, and they still ended up releasing it, but I don't think there is any hope. Some would say, but hey, maybe there is a manga out there. Oh, sweetheart, there is no such thing. I searched for it because I was on the same delusional level as you. I really hoped and gaslighted myself that there must be something or just any piece of content where I can get any infos on what happens next. But no, nothing. So yes, disappointment is the only feeling I have whenever I rewatch this anime because of those reasons. So yeah, Yuri on Ice is still a masterpiece, but also the biggest case of anime blue balling in history. Will we ever get that movie? Probably not. Will I still watch it over and over again while crying over what could have been? Absolutely! Remember guys, life is sometimes disappointing, but it will eventually get better, like finding another BL to binge for example. Anyway, drop a like and your thoughts in the comment if you're still coping with me. Until then, I'll see you. Bye!